Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod which will challenge one another to discuss movies, both new and old, with a strictly positive critical eye.
That's right. And to avoid lazy negativity, we've decided to make this episode a drinking game.
Yes.
Oh.
So anytime we say anything negative at all about this film, about each other, about how Dave has all of his 8-year-old boys say the word cuckolds, you're going to hear this sound.
Jesus Christ.
That sound means we're taking a drink, and we hope you drink along with us.
Sounds wrong in English.
Yes.
Pour
Yes,
yourself a
it sounds
glass.
wonderful in Italian.
Pour yourself a glass. We're going to visit the land where, because he's a communist, was an actual insult and not something you make a relative spit at you over Easter.
Cheers, guys. Pre-show shot down the hatch. Well,
Or should we say salud?
salute. Guys, we're talking about Cinema Paradiso today. Why? The random year generator spun 1989. Cinema Paradiso came out in 3 different years. It came out in Italy and France in 1988, and it came out in Britain in 1990, but it came out in the United States in 1989. And that's all we care about today. Also, just a good excuse to talk about this film because we have been to 1989 before. We're still going to do a year in review soon, and then we're going to do our featured conversation about Cinema Paradiso. But we are a real drinking show, so we are going to get the drinks flowing here at the top with a little bit of news and talking. If you need to get to your Cinema Paradiso content, check the show notes, check the chapters, scoot ahead. We'll be a little drunker than we are now. That's it. Anything else you guys want to say?
Maybe list off, just in case people do enjoy our 1989 conversation. We've been here before, like you said. What other movies have we talked about? If they want to go back in our gigantic canon.
You had them off the top of the dome before we started recording. What you got? What did we do?
Well, I know we have done some really good ones and something that wasn't really that bad when we did that segment that we all thought was fucking kick-ass. We'll start with that. Roadhouse. We've done Roadhouse,
Not
which was
Ghost.
awesome.
Roadhouse.
We have done Lean on Me, Dead Poet Society.
We did not do Lean on Me. I don't remember Lean on Me.
I thought we did do Lean on Me. I thought we did
I've
that.
never seen Lean on Me. Never once in
Are
my
you
life have I seen
serious?
that movie. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we definitely did Do the Right Thing.
Wait, how did that buzz both of you?
You're a dickhead.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, shut up. Okay.
Morgan Freeman, The High School. We totally did that.
Guys, we did Dead Poets, Do the Right Thing, and Roadhouse in the same episode. That was awesome. But since we
It
did
was
the
a
Random Year
great time.
Generator series, we did The Abyss. Was the last time we went to 1989. We also did a
Yes.
franchise face-off where we did National Lampoon, and we love Christmas Vacation, so
Christmas
that came
Vacation, baby.
up. And our summer blockbuster face-off, even though it might spoil some of the box office stuff, remember what our summer blockbuster was from 1989? The biggest summer movie of the year?
Is it one of the Beverly Hills Cops? God, what
Nope.
year is this? I have no
Nope.
idea.
Was it Dead Poet Society?
Ghostbusters?
Guys, 1989.
Oh, Batman. Batman.
I am Batman.
Batman.
I am
Yes, yes,
Batman.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I want you to tell
come
your
on.
friends about me. Yeah.
That's
Hell
right.
yeah.
Okay, so anyway, you can go into our feed and find those episodes there. We got to vote on what we think about Cinema Paradiso. So for our friends watching on YouTube, they can look at this icon next to our name the entire episode. Did we love it? Did we hate it? And we have to wait patiently before we defend ourselves. So if we didn't like it, there's going to be a little green throw-up face next to our face. So everybody knows we didn't like Cinema Paradiso. So what do you say? Are you guys ready to vote on what you think about Cinema Paradiso?
Yes.
All right, drum roll. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. John goes with the gold star, but Dave and Jeff settle for great, which is essentially 5 out of 6. Why didn't we give it the gold star, and why did John? Gotta listen along. Okay, so what news do you guys want to? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about how the big movies are back? We had Project Hail Mary 2 weeks in a row, and then the third week it still made $30 million, but it lost to Super Mario Brothers, which just made I think $450 million in its opening weekend,
Like all the money.
something like that
Just what you said. It's a good
internationally.
time for the movie theaters. They're doing pretty well this year. The WGA signed their deal with the AMPTP. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The
What's the
writers
acronym?
signed a
Yeah.
contract. The writers signed a
And
contract.
so they had time to spare, and it's pretty wonderful. Very different from the last time. There is a 4-year contract now, which I think everyone is kind of anticipating, as opposed to the standard 3-year that all the guilds and unions.
Yeah, everyone's like, we fucking
We'll
can't
come back
strike
to-
again.
Yeah. So, because the health fund is dangerously depleted for all of the guilds. And I would imagine.
Because, writers,
the
heavy
SAG
drinkers.
And DGA. Yeah. Well, they're all going to do the same thing. I have a feeling they're all going to settle for a 4-year contract. They're going to give on that so that they can get more money from the studios whenever they
Let me
make
get political for half a second. I just want to say this. I'm not talking about parties here. Everybody keeps hating on healthcare companies, and you should, because they fucking blow. The costs is the problem. That is why, we allow doctors to charge more. No offense to doctors. We allow people who own the copyrights to certain machines and certain medicines. Like if you go to the doctor and you look, why did this medicine cost $2,000 for this injection? And so healthcare companies are like, fuck you, I don't want to pay $2,000 for this injection. And in a weird way, if I'm paying $500 a month for healthcare and I have an injection that costs $2,000, the math doesn't math for these healthcare companies. So even though I fucking hate healthcare companies, everything is getting more and more expensive. So stop complaining and bitching at each other and go to your politicians and say, fuck you for letting these billionaire and multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical companies make all this money in the goddamn world. All of our healthcare resources are being depleted. So we might as well go for another option. Huh? You notice how we use the word option? Because I think the public option is a good idea to wet our feet before we go to the full, whatever. Dude. Anyway.
No, you're totally right.
It's fucking expensive. It's so expensive.
It is expensive. I did hear a sad stat the other day that I think this past year there was another 16% job loss in Hollywood or something like that.
Yeah.
So things aren't looking great.
John, what a time for you to get your degree and move to Los Angeles. I mean,
that was a great decision.
Yeah.
Here we are. Things are real. Strike while it's hot, No,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Oh,
man. All right. I think if you're a SAG, like a featured extra or stand-in, I think you have to work on set 60 to 80 days in a year. And just there aren't that many jobs that give you 60 to 100 or whatever days. Depends on how much, because you have to make a certain amount of money to qualify for healthcare. And then it's just a year and you have to do it. Fuck it. It's so difficult. Okay.
It is weird.
Anything else?
It's a weird time.
Anything else? Are you guys ready to talk about the year?
1989. Tell us about it. Yeah, I've never heard about it.
It was the year Taylor Swift was born. I think I said that last time too. I just fucking hate myself right now. I'm kidding.
Get some new material.
Okay, so if you remember last time, I told you, depending on what site you look at, you'll get a different box office champion from this year. So there were 3 movies that made a whole lot of money, but Wikipedia, I don't know who they sourced, but they had one movie beating a movie, whereas Box Office Mojo had a different movie make a whole lot of money and win the box office. So what do you think was the highest grossing movie at the box office this year? And you have basically 2 chances to be right.
I think it was Indiana Jones, Last Crusade.
All right, John?
I do too. I think I remember that, but it's either that or Back to the Future or Batman.
Yeah, so Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, good job to you guys. According to Wikipedia, worldwide made $474. Now, Box Office Mojo has Batman, but they basically don't have foreign numbers, meaning non-American numbers for Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Wow. So they have 197 domestic for Indiana Jones, which is way less than Batman, but it was a really big international brand. So according to Wikipedia and other sources. And if you've seen Cinema Paradiso, it's really hard to keep track of who paid for tickets to the theaters back in the day, because people were just sneaking the fuck in or watching from boats. All right.
Dude, so, they were sneaking in, they were drinking, they were fucking. It was just...
I had a list of things that were happening in these theaters, and it's not pretty, that's for sure. Is there spitting on each other from the balcony? God damn. Anyway, number 3, pretty consistently for all of these, was Back to the Future Part 2, right? All right, I'm going to go back to Box Office Mojo, though, because I like them better. No, but they don't have international numbers. No, I got to go with Wikipedia. Fuck everybody. What can I tell you? Look Who's Talking comes in at number 4. That's right. A nice little comedy comes in at number 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Number 5, Dead Poets Society. And that's pretty consistent in both of them. What? Dead Poets Society, which was, it says, is a Disney distributor.
In Australia, people were organizing school trips to go see that.
Because of Peter Weir or because of Robin Williams?
It got to be, well, I'm sure for Australia, Dave, it'd be Peter Weir, right?
No, it was Robin Williams.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
I actually love that. I just heard the thing recently about Robin Williams. One of the only times he outwardly was devastated he didn't get a role. He wanted to be Joker so bad, and it went to Jack. And Jack called him, and he's like, "Sorry, Robin, but I'm bigger." And it's like the only person who was quote unquote bigger than Robin Williams at the time was Jack Nicholson.
I heard he was actually especially pissed off because he found out after the fact that they were just using him to squeeze Jack's deal.
Yeah.
Well, Jack squeezed a pretty good deal out of that.
Too.
But yes, I did hear that. And then he got fucked over by Disney a couple years later. So you know what? Not all great.
How different would Dead Poet Society be if Jack Nicholson was?
Yeah, they switched roles.
Robin's role.
Well, kids, carpe diem or get the fuck out. Okay. Dead Poet's number 5. Lethal Weapon 2 comes in at number 6. We watched that during a snowstorm together. Number 7, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yes, Rick Moranis. Come on. That's another Disney movie. At least their distribution. Number 8, Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2. Number 8. Number 9, The Little Mermaid. $184 million. How about that?
Wow. Solid effort.
That's 3 Disney movies in there. And number 10, Born on the 4th of July. That movie would never make $162 million worldwide now, but it would be seen a lot on streaming. That is a movie people say, I will watch that at home. I don't know if I'm going to pay to go to the theaters to watch 3 hours of Tom Cruise like that.
Like that?
Maybe I'm wrong.
At all.
All right. I've done all of these, but are there any good ones that I want to shout out in here? Obviously, The Little Mermaid's big. The Disney Renaissance was born. Kim Basinger and her brother bought a town in Georgia, and then they lost it and filed for bankruptcy. That was pretty fun. There was a 6-year gap for Bond because License to Kill came out and would lead to so many legal issues that they had to take a 6-year break, which was long at the time. Now it's like nothing. But back then, that was a long time for Bond.
That's the gap between seasons of television now.
Yeah. And why not shout out our movie, Tied, for the Cannes Jury Prize this year. Do you guys know what it tied with? It tied at the Cannes Jury Award.
Was it Sex, Lies, and Videotape?
Actually, I don't know. But I know that it lost the Palme d'Or to Wild at Heart. So let's assume Wild at Heart tied.
This was
I know the original
David
release
Lynch's Wild at Heart.
That was a different year. Yeah, it must have been a different year.
Yeah, the original release, which apparently is the 155-minute version, was an actual box office disaster, and they pulled it from theaters.
For which movie?
This one, Cinema Paradiso.
Oh, and then they cut it down.
Then they cut it down and released the actual version.
Jeff, this is the year the Sex, Lies, and Videotape won the Palme d'Or this year in 1989, and it tied for this with this movie called Too Beautiful for You for the grand prize jury.
Oh,
I don't think Wild at Heart was this year. I can't remember. I think that was 1990, but I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Fuck.
Whatever.
What a movie.
So a big year for like American independent film. That, Mr. Soderbergh got in there at like 25 years old and got that or whatever.
Damn right. We've already done all the prestige things. Why don't you shout out a couple movies that you love from this year? I'll start. My Left Foot.
Oh my God.
And Glory. We almost did Glory this year as a rewatch. We haven't seen that. I haven't seen it in a while. We almost did Glory.
There was a school trip to see My Left Foot as well. So
interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
You went to a progressive school there. How old were you going to see Glory? High school?
I think he's talking to you. I wasn't seeing Glory. I saw My Left Foot.
My Left Foot.
Oh, My Left Foot. My Left Foot. Sorry, I thought you said and Glory. So how old were you seeing My Left Foot?
12.
Were they taking middle schoolers to see that?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
It's Australia, man.
When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, they didn't take us to see that.
Not too shabby. Do the Right Thing came out this year, which was also in competition at Cannes. Kind of crazy.
Crazy.
That movie didn't win Palme d'Or. Sex, Lies is a great movie, but Do the Right Thing has really stood the test of time in a powerful way, right?
Well, I think I've seen Do the Right Thing more than Sex, Lies, and Videotape. That's for sure.
Yeah, both great movies. But Say Anything, Cameron Crowe getting in there with his. Was that his first? I don't know. It was his very first, but definitely the first one that like put him on the map. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, dude. I watched that movie like 30 times when I was a kid, for sure. I was obsessed with that movie. One of the professors at the school I went to produced that movie, and I would always be like, dude, and he would be like, don't
Angela and I saw them in Waiting for Godot.
Those two?
Yeah. And they did their
They were on Broadway.
Angela was like reading for a class.
Idea.
Angela was like talking about it in a class, and we were like, well, we should just go. We kind of splurged.
That's
Tickets were kind of expensive, but
so
it was cool.
funny.
It was cool.
Ron Howard's Parenthood.
Yes, I'm
came out
watching
this
the
year.
TV show right now. Michael B. Jordan's in the next episode.
It's a
Season
good
2,
series.
episode 7, I think.
It's a really good movie. Definitely recommend seeing that one. I'm going to call out like one of my absolute favorite animated movies from when I was a child. All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Hell yeah.
So sad, so sweet. And then I'll shut up after this. The War of the Roses. Danny DeVito directed a really great, fucked up, dark, absurd, almost funny, but you're kind of like looking at it like, am I allowed?
You feel dirty. You feel dirty for laughing.
Yeah, but man, it's
my kind of comedy.
It's a good one.
Dave, any other movies you want to shout out?
Tie me up, tie me down. No, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay. Any other movies you want to shout out, Dave?
Dude, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was a big thing for me, and like I was late getting to the screening. I almost missed the start of it. So I actually jumped out of the car and left my family in the car and ran in the cinema by myself.
Dave, I need to rewatch that movie. I have never liked that one very much. Is it like your favorite?
No, I think Raiders is always going to be my favorite.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think I was too young to get the thrill that Temple of Doom gave everyone else.
Because I started watching it and didn't finish it this weekend because
Crusade?
I hated the first 10 minutes of it.
Of Last Crusade.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I love the ending because I've seen it a million times because I'd be flipping through the channels. I'd be like, that's Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. Oh my God, it's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And I would watch it until the end, but I would never watch the beginning. I watched the beginning and I was like, it is Lawrence of Arabia for 4-year-olds. I couldn't stand it. Sorry, Dave. Just the beginning. If I were you, I would have skipped the beginning. Harrison Ford doesn't even talk. They just the way anyway, I didn't love it. Okay. Lean on Me, Heathers, and come on, Major League. Let's go.
Major League, dude.
Okay. Couple stats. I'm going to try to okay. How about this? This is where I'm going to go with the facts because I could do like Tiananmen Square or the Galileo spacecraft launched by NASA. That's timely. Today, we are recording this on the day that the Artemis 2 went around the moon. How about that?
Well, it broke the record at 1:30 today, I think it was, for the farthest humans from space, from Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, you know which flight it beat?
Apollo 13?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's crash landing on purpose. It's landing out here off of coast of San Diego. And I think I'm going to try to go down and see if I can see them enter the atmosphere. I don't think I'll be able to see the actual
hope they got the fucking math right. You'll lose your house.
I'll bring my gloves.
I saw a clip of a launch.
The coolest thing.
I saw a launch from a plane one time. I was flying from Fort Myers to Chicago, and all of a sudden they said, if you look out your window in about 1 minute, you're going to see the shuttle launch. I was like, what? And I looked out and I just saw this looked like a little red bullet take off. It was the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen.
That's kind of cool. I'm going to go down for one once at some point. The coolest thing today was, and I don't know how it synced up or what, but they've cut to inside the spacecraft and a jar of Nutella floats through the foreground of the shot. I'm like, did Nutella fucking pay for that product placement?
And the CEO of Nutella was rock hard.
Yeah, right?
I can't imagine how many billions of dollars they would need to put a dent in. I think the product placement isn't enough. Okay, anyway.
Awesome.
So I'll give you some more fun stats. Here you go. You ready? Alcohol was banned in Iceland.
Oh, can't do this show from Iceland.
In 1915. And it made it about 20 years, and they said, we can't do this anymore. But they decided to continue to ban beer from 1935 until 1989. In Iceland, beer was literally banned until 1989.
Wow.
And now they celebrate it March 1st every year.
People getting drunk and pissing in the street. Let's just give them whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a beer day on March 1st.
March 1st of every year in Iceland, they have beer day that they celebrate. Something fun happened in Australia. I'm going to get there in a second. Cost of a new home on average was $120,000. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah,
average income per year was $27,000. So by these standards, I should be living the fucking dream, but my goddamn healthcare costs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ham and cheese pizza will kill you. Don't eat it. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's basically pepperoni, right? $2.59 for a whole pizza. I guess that's like a frozen one or some shit. And then a ribeye steak per pound was $3.79. So this is a pretty good time. Good time right here. Okay. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing about this year, I'll do some more products in a second, is the quotes. These are all quotes from 1989. If you build it, he will come. It keeps going and going and going and going. Originated the Energizer Bunny. That quote, 1989.
Two quotes about me so far.
How about this? You ready? After Just Say No in the 80s for Nancy Reagan, Laura Bush, decided she needed to step up. So how about this? Really clever. You ready? This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Any question?
Any question?
Eat my shorts. Eat my shorts was first said this year.
Nice.
I'll have what she's having.
Of course.
Obviously. We talked about Harry
What's Eat My Shorts? What's Eat My Shorts from?
Simpsons.
It's Bart Simpson.
It's just Bart in general? Okay.
Yeah. Carpe diem, seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary. Robin Williams this year.
Nice.
And then, of course, I am Batman.
Say that as Jack.
We all
Say
do
that
Batman.
As Jack.
I don't do a Jack. You do a Jack.
Yeah, none of us are very good.
See, the one I took away from that was he's at home washing his tights.
Well. Okay. This is the first appearance, and most popular Christmas gifts and toys include Tetris, Sega Genesis, Polly Pockets, Nintendo Game Boy, and Trolls. Trolls appeared in Europe in 1956. The first wave of Trolls was popular in the United States in 1963, but they were really popular this year. So that was not a new release this year. That was just really popular. Okay. Most popular TV shows. Number 6 was The Golden Girls. Number 5 was America's Funniest Home Videos. Hell yeah. Number 4, A Different World. Number 3,
Nice.
Cheers. Number 2, Roseanne. Number 1, hope you like your Jello pudding, guys. The Cosby Show was number 1 here in 1989.
It really did blow up.
Number 1 many times. It was awesome.
Wow.
And
Aged well.
guess what? The site I told you, the site where I used to get my food and beverage trivia, it doesn't work anymore, and I could not get a different food and beverage trivia this week. So I'm going to give you 2 food and beverage pieces of trivia. Number 1. The USDA approved Simpless, a low-calorie fat substitute. Dave, do you know what Simpless is?
Didn't they figure out that gave you cancer later?
I'm sure they figured that out. Yes, they figured that out.
Without a doubt, yeah.
And my number 1 favorite stat of all food and beverage trivia from 1989 is... This one is a special shout out to you, Dave. Do you remember this? It was reported that a rain of sardines fell in Ipswich, Australia on February 7th. That is right. It is reported that small fish literally rained from the sky for about a minute in Australia. Dave, do you remember that?
Ipswich Witches, yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Wait, like naked fish or tins of sardines?
No, fish.
Fish.
It was a fish.
I don't understand.
Did they
Was there like a plane?
They get picked up by waterspouts and thrown ashore.
And it just happened really intensely that day?
Yeah. It happened noticeably that day.
Waterspouts.
Did it happen at waterspouts? Yeah, waterspouts. Did it happen? Did it inspire the end of Magnolia?
I was going to say,
more than the fucking Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's
1989.
Quickest we've ever gotten into one of these things. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cinema Paradiso. It said it was on Canopy on my app, and I did not see this on Canopy. I think it was on Hoopla.
It's only subscription Canopy.
Yeah, I watched it on Canopy.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have a subscription Canopy, or does Los Angeles County just have...
Different libraries have different things. If you sign in with your library card, if you're paying for a subscription, you get a lot.
Do you use like your old school login for Canopy, or do you use your library card from Los Angeles?
No, I joined the Los Angeles Public Library.
Fuck. Dave, New York.
New York doesn't have it.
Really?
Well, actually, mine's a Queens library one, so Queens in particular doesn't have access to it.
Guys, I rented this movie twice. I rented both versions of it. So I just fucking wasted. Not wasted. I threw money at this movie. So I hope it's going to the right people.
One of them was a waste.
Although I actually did go back and watch it. Okay, so I decided, I looked at the director's cut and I was like, I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to do the director's cut. It's about 2 hours and 53 minutes or so. I'm like, I'm going to do it. The other one's about 2 hours and 3 or 4 minutes. So it's a 50-minute difference. And then I looked up online and almost every single source said that the theatrical version was better. And I was like, what the fuck? And then it said like, there's more about the young boy, when he grows up, and the word I saw was interstitched. And I had a Godfather 2 image in my head, and I was like, wait, that sounds cool. So when the kid, it's like the guy, he gets the call, and then he's remembering being a child, but then it's like he also remembers being an adult and sees how like that relationship, and I don't know, I just saw like the going back and forth in times. No, that's pretty much not what it is. They just extended a bunch of scenes, and then there's basically 30 minutes at the end of the movie, including after the funeral, where he's just like talks to the girl again and all this shit that it's like, no, we don't need any of that. So I really think everybody should watch the theatrical version.
Up, the thing I was looking up before we started was that original 2 hours, 50-ish minutes was released in Italy to not good reviews.
Yeah, they pulled it from cinemas.
Yeah, they cut it. And the one that was nominated at Cannes, the Oscar, and the BAFTA is the theatrical 2-hour cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is probably why it had no chance at the Palme d'Or. The director's cut had to be cut and shaded, like just stripped down. And then I feel like it's the Parks and Rec. Nope, that's better.
It is hard to imagine it feeling different. I'm sure I can imagine it. I don't like thinking about
Hey,
that
sometimes
version,
you shoot your movie and then you cut some scenes out, but
he
it makes
made the right
things
call,
better when
though.
you shot it. Yeah,
no, he made it better. He did the right thing.
Okay. So we did the theatrical version. I rented it. Dave rented it. John, had you seen it before? Had you guys seen this movie before?
No.
Yes. And I've only seen this version. I've only seen the theatrical version. So this is my second time.
This is your second time?
This is my second time.
I saw it once. I took Italian in college. I don't remember a word of it. I do a Duolingo Italian now. My teacher was Sicilian. And so one day in class, maybe she couldn't be there. We watched an hour and 40 minutes of it, an hour and 30 minutes of it. So we didn't finish it, but we got, so I think I tried to figure out how to watch it later. I think maybe I went to the library to finish it. So I've seen it one time before this today. Okay. I'm going to read the IMDb description, send it on its way. Giuseppe Tornatore, writer-director. Vanna Paoli was a contributing writer. And the Oscar winner for Best Foreign Language Film in 1990, Cinema Paradiso. I'm reading this IMDb description, which I logged out of from inactivity.
You want me to do it?
No, I got it. Here we go. Salvatore, a famous film director, who goes by Toto, refers... Oh my God, I can't read. Can you read this?
Yes, I got it. Salvatore, a famous film director, returns to his hometown for the funeral of the local theater's film projectionist, Alfredo. He reminisces about his life as a young boy falling in love with cinema.
When you first saw Alfredo come on the screen, did you think this guy still has 40 years left to live?
Oh,
no.
I watched this. I was like, wait, we're seeing his funeral. It was just 30 years ago, but it was 30 years after he was 18. Right now, he's like 8, which means he still had 40 years left to live.
Also, how about just 10 years after that, when he's on like his deathbed, basically? He's like, I don't want to walk and tell anybody. I don't want to go out anymore and talk.
Sometimes you get to the point where you don't want to talk, and he lived 30 more years.
I thought you were going to say that actor and that performance specifically reminds me so much of Richard Gang. About the way he looks, his eyes, the facial structure, the hard edge, but the heart of gold, just the real sentimental. I don't know. I really was feeling Richard.
The way whenever the kid asked a question, he was like, fuck you.
Yeah. he said the Italian version of that.
It's pretty good.
All right. Well, John gave it a gold star. So, Dave, it looks like it's up to us to get this thing started here. Unless, John, you want to start us off with a glowing review, and then we have to...
No, you guys go. I also seen it twice, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts, because I'll just say this before watching it this second time. I think I felt how you guys felt about it. I really, really, really liked it, maybe loved it, but didn't think it was gold star the first time I watched it. I don't know why I was so moved the second time. Like, it fucking landed for me. So I'm just curious, how was your first watch?
Dave?
Well, I'll start by saying I enjoyed this far more than I thought I would. Like, when I read the blurb, I was like, shit.
That's good. Dave set the bar low.
Yeah. No, I really didn't go into this with high expectations at all. But dude, from that first shot, I was like, fuck, I kind of want to retire wherever that opening shot is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And is it the best written film ever? No. Is it technically perfect? No. There's shot errors occasionally and stuff like that. Is it compelling as fuck to watch? You bet it is. And I think that is what grabs you. And that's why I'm sitting at like a grade for me, because like just the story was just so good. It overshadowed anything else.
Yeah. Okay. I love this movie the first time I saw it. I was pretty close to loving it here. I think I gave it a grade. I do think it's wonderful. To me, I love the world building and just behavior. You know, obviously we need plot and such, but like the people of this town really make this movie. And the fact that this relationship is so personal and so deep between these two people, like they could almost do a two-hand play, the two of them, just their relationship. And then they're surrounded by hundreds of people, many of whom seem very familiar to you. And their behavior is so specific and yet so universal, and it's erratic. And it's like, I can't believe I'm actually watching this. The way they're watching movies together is really unique and awesome. And I love all of that. I would say the reason not to go with demarcation, which is sort of, you know, antagonizing the purpose of our podcast. The reason I don't give it a gold star is they literally say the most famous quote in this movie is, you know, don't come back, don't write, don't give in to nostalgia. And the whole movie is a nostalgia piece. So they understand that contradiction, but I do feel like they gave into the nostalgia. I think that ending, that ending did nothing for me to this time. And it's mostly because that actor, I just didn't buy it. I kind of wish they had a guy that was like what's the guy in 8.5? What's his name? Guido? I wish they had like an asshole dickhead. I wish the kid turned into that and then he softened again. Instead, it was just like this fucking, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. And also the boy, and that is a 10 out of 10. That is as good as it gets. The teenager, I don't know if it was the actor. I don't know if it was just writing the drama, was like 8 or 9 out of 10. And then that ending for me was less. I just feel like that's 3, you know, you set the bar at the beginning. And I wish all 3 parts were as amazing to me as the boy, the younger version in the 40s was. That's just me. Go ahead and buzz me. Fuck you guys. That's what I say.
That kid was a non-actor as well. Like he wasn't an actor, so they had to dub his lines sometimes to get the appropriate response.
And beat him to make him cry and spritz him with water or whatever. Yeah.
Just, dude, the good old days when you could just beat the shit out of your kids in the street. There were scenes in this that reminded me of the 70s when I got taken out of the streets.
Yeah, I love like if that town guy that's like, the square is mine, the piazza è mia, and then like the mom's like, don't hit my son, that's my job.
Yeah, right.
So good.
All right, John, let's go.
I feel so. I think the reason it landed for me this time is because I did feel like this time more than the first time I watched it, there was an awareness of the sentimentality and the nostalgia, and it was. I believed that the world he created and that the characters experiencing their own sentimentality all the way up to the end in the funeral when he looks over his shoulder and he sees the men from the town that had something to do with his past and the cinema's past. I don't know. It started to feel, when I first watched this, I felt like it was very exclusively a sentimental reflection on the movies of this director's past and like his relationship to cinemas and stuff. This time it felt more to me like the movie theater did just represent a part of that town's communal, you know, thing. Like it didn't feel as contrived to me this time. I guess I believed it. And that might be me just getting older and feeling a version of, I think we're going through a version of what he, you know, went through when he was making this. He started making this supposedly because he was lamenting all of these small town movie theaters in Italy getting torn down.
This was originally intended as an obituary to film.
There was a recession, especially in Sicily in the 1980s, which is hilarious because that's when the American stock market did really well after the 1982 decision to allow stock buybacks by Ronald Reagan, where we decided to put money into the fucking stock, which had nothing to do with people or product or anything. There's no trickle out anything that happened.
We don't have 40 minutes to get
ruining society all over the fucking country. Megaplexes were probably buying these cinemas and leaving them empty on purpose. Those bitches.
Dave, cut in Ennio Morricone's theme underneath that and put it as a short.
No, we'll get a copyright strike.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I think the fact that it was originally intended as an obituary to film is why maybe the rewatch or my watch was like here hit differently because what many people see is the end of American film industry, or it's winding down and it's struggling.
Yeah.
So it's maybe a little too close to home.
Kind of everything's struggling here now.
I totally agree. And I feel like I think I was also just, this movie builds to, you said the line when Giuseppe Alfredo is telling him, get on the train, don't ever think of, that was also very Richard. He grabs him and he says to him, don't you even think about fucking coming back here. Don't you write us? Don't you call us? Don't you come visit us? Get out of here and don't look back. And make sure you love whatever you do as much as you love working in that projection booth. And I guess I felt like that if you don't buy that scene, the rest of the movie really does feel like just pure nostalgia. And I think this time I did buy it. I don't know. We're adults now, you guys. Like we're like well into middle age or approaching middle age, and I think you start to realize that like those those lessons. I feel like we've had this conversation before a lot on this show. How do you what's the threshold of sentimentality? When does it trump believability? And for me, if I don't believe the characters have actually learned from whatever that sentimental thing is being projected upon them, if they're just pawns in like a tonal kind of situation where everything feels safe and good and okay, this movie did not feel too safe to me. I think that's another way of putting it.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. They had kids masturbating in the fucking chairs. Like, yeah, that's not a safe movie.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, but also again, it builds to him coming back. It's just a very tiny scene, but I do think it's important. And I'm sure they were struggling when they were trying to cut down the big version, if what you're saying is true. And he does have a lot more of like real time reflection as an older man in the town. But the scene that they kept between him and his mom, when he says, I come back here and I feel like I've tried to turn my back on this place and I'm like right back to, I feel like I'm the same person. And yet I look at you, Mom, and I don't know who you are. And I look at my sister, like that scene really worked for me. And it didn't work for you, but I think the kissing montage is very touching to me.
That worked. Well, because they cut it out earlier in the series.
What got me? It was, there's just something sad about a decommissioned theater.
Yeah. Oh, dude. The demolition.
And not the demolition. After it was burnt.
When he first looks over in the funeral procession, they show him look, and then you see a look on his face, and then they cut to it. You're right.
I'll tell you, when I first got out of college, I was in a live comedy show, and a couple of years ago, I went back to Australia, and I went and sat on the steps where we took a photo of the entire cast of the show, and the building is falling apart. It's pretty much condemned, everything, and like that scene fucking hit me like a ton of bricks because I've actually gone back and sat on the steps of my own theater that was fucked up.
We had like a dollar theater growing up in the town beside me, a beautiful Art Deco single screen theater. I saw Jurassic Park there when I was really little. I saw Nutty Professor. I saw some of the early big ones. Wow. And it got run down for a very long time. And then they restored it. And people are going again, and now it's like a $4 movie theater. Wow. And even though that happens from time to time, it's still, I live in a town where every boulevard and avenue in this fucking city has a rundown theater on it that is not being used or being destroyed or being turned into a parking lot or apartments.
Yeah. Dude, I kind of think I want to run a theater when I retire.
Dude, I would love that. It's like kind of one of my dreams. I've had it since I was young.
You know what the worst thing is? You have to be like, when I retire. You can't do it as like now. You know what I mean? Because you can't do it and then expect to ever retire. You have to do you're going to be Alfredo doing it until you die, right?
I'm busy.
Well, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Do you guys remember how sad I was when that man passed away who ran... It was initially called the New Yorker Theater, and then they moved it, and it became the Lincoln Center Theater, the underground theater.
I remember I said, I love that one.
Yeah,
we saw
Albert
Nobbs.
Dude, that's still sitting there fucking empty.
Brought over, that man single-handedly brought over all the foreign films.
3 Days, 2 Nights. We saw that, remember that Marion Cotillard movie? We saw 3 Days, 2 Nights. It's like, that's the only place you could see it. It was there. A lot of,
I saw a bunch of shit there. But anyway, yeah, man, you're totally right. But not that we're getting off topic. It's like our association with those kinds of movie theaters is almost something more like that.
That's what it is.
Whereas this, again, this really did feel to me like it was a place. It was a part of the square. It was right there on the fucking town square. It's not like this town was very big.
And they literally said, "There's nothing for us to do in town now."
Yeah,
when it burned down.
When I thought it was interesting too that I think we're supposed to feel that the church owned it initially.
Yeah.
And then the other man,
when he's sitting there ringing the bell,
either owned it or like owned everything.
He's like a one-man MPAA without the bribes.
Fantastic. I love putting the paper in.
I felt like at the time it was basically like the church was involved in everything but didn't own it, and it was almost. And maybe I don't know. I've only seen this twice, so I don't know if it's true. But it's almost like the church realizes they lost the public. They're sitting there like, this is blasphemy. Why would I watch? There was a kiss, or like they touched a woman's back, and then they kiss, and they said, why would I watch a pornographic film? And then, but it's like they realized they couldn't get the crowd to leave, so they left instead.
The church owned it, and the Don bought it out from under them, and the Don wasn't censoring the films.
I see what you're saying. Was
that the Don, or was it just?
It was a Don. They called him Don at one point.
Well, I thought the Don came in afterwards. I thought.
No, he was in the crowd when who has the money to buy that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
And he looks over. He's who he sees over his shoulder in the funeral processation.
You know what it made me think of? Well, first of all, I've been to Italy, but like we've all been to places of the world where you see it, and just look at. I remember Angela was next to me and she was doing something else, and I said, "Look at that building. That's their elementary school." And it just looks like a castle. Like, it's just stunning the amount of work that people put into this like cathedral-esque place. And they went to school in a church and stuff, but like just the way that the town looked in the city. And I live in an area, and I think about gentrification all the time, not just because I live in New York, but also I live in an area where I'm like, I think I live here now because it's been gentrified. Like, I don't know if I would have lived here if it wasn't. And so I kind of think about that a lot. And I thought about that in this movie this time where I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, towns don't really look like that anymore. It's like at some point they got to have a diner. Like at some point you got to have a McDonald's. Where does it go? And then all of a sudden the thing burned down, and I was like, God, I fucking hate to say it, but it's like that's not the movie theater. I want that to come back, but it's like, that kind of stuff happens, and then you can rebuild, and I'm glad that they did that with the theater. But when they do the time jumps, I thought they handled the time jumps really well.
Schools in America, they're like, okay, which prison plan are we going to build this from?
That's good.
I was thinking about
study that on your citizenship test. Why can't I buzz you? Fuck. Damn it.
I was thinking about that when the Don, I guess he's the Don, is watching it getting demolished. And I definitely have one of those like mortality moments where I was like, God, what's it going to look like when you see something that is a real physical symbol of what you did with your life?
Yeah.
And it's just, nobody will ever know it was there.
I'm about to die. I can tell you.
It's about to die.
I think that lingers too. I'm going to go back to my idea. I'm only going to praise it from now on. I said the reasons I didn't give it a gold star, and I doubt John's going to talk me into it. But the fact that you have this wonderfully rich town, and they did a lot early on with the mom, with the sister, with the way they sprinkled in the dad. And I kind of was unsure of what time it was, but it obviously was pretty close after World War II. So maybe like 1948, 9, right? It was 1940s at first, and then it goes to 56, I think was the second one. So it was probably like 8 years.
It's still in World War II because...
I didn't think, I thought World War II was over.
Was it totally over?
Well, yeah, because the Russia and stuff at least the European theater. So maybe
you're right. Because that German, the guy, his family moves to Germany.
Yeah, he wouldn't kiss him on the cheek.
Just under Stalin's rule at the time.
He's a communist.
So,
My father said he's a communist, and then it just cuts out. But anyway, so you have this wonderful town, but then the two of them, and I think there's something cool. Did you guys ever read the book The Giver? Or do you know what I'm talking about? I had to read it in school, and they made a movie out of it. I think Meryl Streep is in it, but it's one of the most important books in my life because it's this idea where only one person could see it in color and nobody else could see it in color. And it becomes a metaphor for a lot of things. But in this case, it's like Alfredo was literally the only person who can do that. And then later, of course, they're like, we can get somebody else to replace you, don't worry. But it's like, that's it. All these people are dependent on Alfredo, and he's a nobody. He's up there and a mouse, and they know who he is, but he doesn't seem to be popular. He's never going to get married.
In researching this as well with Alfredo, I want to say that the reaction of the other people around him deserves particular credit because the part that I was researching was that all of his lines were delivered in French and were dubbed over.
What?
On set.
Alfredo?
Yeah. he was speaking French
Wow.
on set. And then they
Oh my
dubbed
God,
the
he's
line.
French as fuck. He's one of French cinema's most familiar faces.
Yeah. So that kid was reacting to something he did not understand.
The sound did look a little strange, but I was like, yeah, what do I know?
Well, a lot of Italian movies still did dub everything, basically, even into this time.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying that, like, how powerful is that as either a theme or as just a device or whatever in this movie, that he steps up and he becomes a very, very important, not nobody, but like you're not exposed. You're not out there like a famous film director would be. You're just, and the town depends on you. And you basically have to commit to that. You have to commit to doing that forever. Because as soon as you stop, the whole town kind of falls apart.
But they also made him such a fucking nice guy.
But I also love that he was hard on him too. Are you talking about Alfredo or Toto? Yeah, he was hard on him.
He was nice on him. He was,
oh my
he was
God,
a nice
the first one. If I ever see you again, I'll fucking throw you out the whatever.
Yeah, no, there's thankless kind of jobs in society. I've always been extremely moved by that. People who are like doing something that clearly has an effect on other people and nobody really acknowledges them for it. How about every teacher you ever had growing up?
Yeah.
How
about him taking the test? How funny was that where they bring the guys in and all the kids laugh?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So one thing I always remembered, and I was so glad that like I misremembered it. Sometimes this really does happen to me. Since seeing this movie the first time, whenever I am in a movie theater and there are people making noise or annoying me, I just try to think like, you know, the beauty and the romance of being in the movie theater. I just remember in Cinema Paradiso where all those fucking Italians are just screaming at the screen the whole time.
Yeah. They're drinking, they're smoking, they're fucking. Thank God we just live in a time when they're making face.
They are, but I'm actually going to push against that. I'm actually going to push against that. I think I misremembered it. I was surprised at how many of the screenings people were genuinely quiet and paying attention as a group.
Yeah.
It was only once the Don took over.
And it was only once they were seated because people would just walk in and be like, I am here. I made it to the theater. Why were they announcing themselves every time they were coming in? It was so ridiculous.
Italians, dude. Sicilians.
Yeah.
But when people did talk out or an entire row of boys were just masturbating just around everybody, did it make you wish for the days of corporal punishment where these teachers were throwing heads against chalkboards and just fucking smacking kids with rulers and just grabbing boys?
That was awesome,
dude. I had a math teacher like that. Actually, he used to shake like a chihuahua when he's angry.
I mean, just the way they handled that was, and you know what? It's funny. Instead of like doing it cheaply, or they just they cut really well.
Yeah.
So you'd have the teacher have like a huge motion with this kid, his head like going towards the chalkboard, and then they would just go to a close up where they probably just like gently press them against I don't know. The way they cut it was like, I feel like Marvel could have done better with that in the Avengers. Anyway,
there's also we got to give it up for the editing of, and it was in. I'm sure it was in the writing and design, of course. The choices for the old movies and how they were cut in to the story. Were
John Hawaiian,
magnificent.
John Hawaiian. When they had the John Wayne movie, the way they said it was like, anyway, fuck it.
It's fantastic. That was really good. I think I also want to definitely call out because I miss it so much, and I guess kids these days would watch a movie like this and feel the weight of a heavier camera and feel the weight of a different kind of film language. But I think we're losing something by going away from that. And so casually cutting faster and moving the camera so much easier and quicker and putting it in positions where a human would never be. And I feel like there were so many simple effects with the way that they placed, composed, moved the camera, racked focus, simple zooms. Yeah. It just felt like a really, really, really classical film language, but it worked, man. A lot of
the locations were revealed by a moving camera. It made you feel like you were walking into the location or pulling back to see the location.
Did you ever hear like SpongeBob is bad for kids actually because it cuts so much and it's so striking every time it cuts that it's bad for your brain?
Yeah,
whereas I think actually I was watching some Bluey with the nieces, and you know what? Bluey doesn't cut too much, which I appreciate. But what does? Wait, something. I forget who was talking about it. Fuck. I think it was this British guy, the guy that produced Dun, da, 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 da. Chariots of Fire. The British guy. I think he was talking because he hired a lot of the British filmmakers to do commercials, and that's where they were able to make their money. And then he talked about like how music videos are, and a lot of people say this, like music videos are ruining our attention spans even more than like TikTok and Twitter are.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how many fucking edits you make in a minute, and a 3-minute song is 1,000 edits.
People still watch music videos?
Yeah, they do.
TikTok.
I mean, they watch 30 seconds of them at a time, but yeah,
on TikTok.
But no, you're right. The way this is handled was great, and it all seemed on location.
How
right?
about that?
This was in a town, right? It was in an actual place.
I'm sure that town's exteriors were used. I bet they built sets for all the interiors.
But they did. It's because it's a fictional town in Sicily.
I think one moment that was really like quintessential and a good example of what I'm talking about, and my whole rant, they're going to teach you that language early on. The rack focus in present day, outside at night when he's coming in as an adult man and going into his hotel, the rack focus from the wind chimes to his window.
Oh, yeah.
When he's coming in. And then after he finds out, he rolls over. And it's such a simple, like, directing kind of thing. And I don't know if even most people would have thought about it, but he rolls over and there are shadows on his face. And he's reflecting, and you're about to go down the rabbit hole with him. And those shadows are the wind chimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I noticed that shot as well. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cool.
And but it didn't, I wasn't in my head like, ooh, how'd they do that? It didn't make me think. I was just like, that kind of touch. There was no reason to do that. It didn't move the story forward.
Also, it wasn't jarring. It wasn't like, I've just got out of film school. Here's a shot. It was.
But I guess what I'm saying is, I'd rather us have a little bit more of that, because I feel like we're so infused with television style storytelling right now, where it's just look, put that camera on a fucking actor and let them say words to move a story forward. And I just miss. I feel like we're losing something, man. I feel like it was just interesting that a movie about that time period, when falling in love with that type of cinema, that he employed that kind of language. I still feel like it just did something that it felt like a different kind of movie.
You know what I could use more of after the fire, where they're in the next morning when there's still smoke coming out and all the people are standing around looking at it and they're all so sad. Then just a fucking flock of sheep walk right through the front of the frame. It's just
I'm glad you said that.
Just walk.
Hold on, I'm glad you said that.
Very Godfather 2, just walk right through.
I watched a couple. I won't say what they are either, but because I liked these movies, but I watched some contemporary movies over the past few weeks, and everything is so expensive now. I'm sure it's cost. I'm sure it's not bad directors who.
They did not pay that shepherd or his sheep any money to walk through the frame in this movie, for sure.
That's kind of what I'm saying, though.
They probably couldn't stop him.
The lack of extras and real life happening in the background of exterior shots or out the window of an interior shot, like that thing used to be so prevalent in a lot of movies. And it really does feel like it's getting so expensive, or for whatever reason, we're trending away from that, where scenes are so controlled now that kind of life, I don't know, it just feels like it's, I'm also noticing it less and less.
Dave, where's that clip
This
button?
movie I thought was just chock full of it.
We don't run clip anymore.
What the fuck? Why not?
Because I'm editing the show.
Oh, well, I was going to say, to what John was saying, I was like, that's why you got to watch She Dances, where they go to a real dance competition, got people to sign waivers so they could just go around and film people and be like, we're not making any money anyway. And they're like, fine. And then you have real life and real behavior, and their kids dancing and they're crying and they're putting on makeup and shit. Go watch She Dances if you want to see some real behavior.
That's fantastic, but that's actually not what I'm talking about. I'm saying when you're controlling situations and you are creating a false reality, go the distance and put people in the fucking background.
Dude, I will say,
go the distance.
I watched nowadays,
I watched the finale of Paradise this week, which I was going to talk about later. But to that point, there's one scene where they're doing like a chaos, like there's chaos happening, and I think they employed every fucking extra in LA that day to film
And
it.
that's awesome, but that's still kind of not what I'm talking about. Like,
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm kidding.
You'll see it when you're like in the script where it's like lots of people surround our characters. They try to get to their loved one. I'm talking about in every fucking scene in this movie, there is life behind somebody.
Yeah.
There's a shepherd. There's 3 people just walking around. These boys just fucking around on a bicycle.
Wait,
there's a woman getting
but that
water
is
out of the
happening in
fountain.
this dance
Like,
competition.
You're talking about
It wasn't
business.
voyeur and it wasn't mockumentary style. It was set. It was set. But anyway, whatever. Okay. I know what you mean.
There was business going on everywhere.
It's expensive.
Sure.
And nowadays, you're in New York. You don't film in New York because New Jersey has better tax credits, but you can't just you have to pay for transportation because of SAG. So you have to ship everybody out to New Jersey, and then you have to give them meals. And it's like all of a sudden, the $200 are getting actually costs $500 a person because the unions.
I think my favorite shot
costs so much
in this
they all gotta pay
movie
for their life.
We know. I think my favorite shot in this movie this time was the last night, New Year's Eve, when he finally walks away from her window. One shot. He turns around, comes toward camera. We pan over, and he walks down that alley. Plates and glasses are being thrown out the windows.
Came out that window.
A toilet comes out, and the fucking fireworks go off as he disappears into the darkness.
Yeah.
That was all fucking shot, dude. That was real. You felt that shit.
was
They're on
real.
walkies, queuing shit.
Yes. I felt it. Tell me you didn't. Right? You could do that with AI now, and it would be probably believable. But there's something fucking
the
lacking
fucking
there.
toilet would turn into a spaghetti monster and attack someone when it hit the ground.
Yeah, but you know what? Doing it
Where
for
are they
real,
gonna get another
doing it
toilet?
for real would destroy the water levels a lot less.
They used that toilet later in the remains of the theater. It was the broken toilet was laying on the ground on the side.
Do they really collect all the broken shit?
Yeah.
I just love how the cinema turned into a place for just a tranny porn poster and then a cock on the wall. It's like that's all that remains of this theater. Wow. I really did love this movie. I did. I feel like each movie, like it was like a 10 and then a 9 and then an 8, so it settles on a 9 for me in the 3 different parts. But it's I thought this movie's special. It's sensational. And there were a lot of sentences of Italian that I know every single word of. If you said, "How do you say the sentence in Italian?" I would know it. And when they say it, I didn't understand a fucking word they said. Because it's just
Well, Sicilian, there is a dialect,
different.
right?
Oh, it's so different. The fact that they were talking about like going all the way to Napoli. They'd be like, Napolitano. It's like, okay, Napoli's in South Italy.
The Northerners always have all the luck. Wasn't that the line?
Napoli is south of Rome, and Florence is north of Rome, and Milan is north of Rome, and where the Olympics were was north of Milan. There's so much more. Venice is way north of all that shit, and it's like the fact that they're like Napoli is like so far away. They'll be like, I'm going all the way west to Chicago or to St. Louis, and it's like, you should probably keep going if you want to get all the way. Anyway, it was really cool. The movie's great. I love the movie.
The lack of extras in the sequence when he comes back from Rome, back from service, and it feels like the town is empty and the wind is blowing on him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Dude, fucking beautiful. Capitalized
also, how cool is that?
The way they use them for
that
the
kind of
rest
reminded us of America about like Vietnam, where it's like the World War II vets got all this love and parades, and then the Vietnam vets, it was like, no, you shouldn't have gone. You should have gone to Canada. You should have burned your draft card or something. It was just funny the way that the military wasn't treated the same way. You would think, like, if it was 1945, he would have gotten a hero's welcome.
Which is
assuming he was on the right side, right? Because it was like
I was about to say, like,
fighters.
Yeah. I mean, he went into the service. So if he had been in 1945, he would have been fighting for Mussolini. So
no. I thought Italy switched. Did they switch
before the end of the war? I guess, yeah, before the end of the war.
They went,
well,
no, we're on your
confusing.
side. Dave, was that in your citizenship test? I can't remember.
No, it wasn't. Just see all the Italians jump up and run to the other trench.
All right, Dave, are you gonna keep your great, or you're gonna go to gold?
I'm gonna keep my great. I also will say, do not watch this on Pluto TV. It's on Pluto TV for free, but there are no subtitles.
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah,
you can't even change it. Like,
nope. There's only Italian. So
Dave, I wish you had only watched that version and come in here with
right.
It's so fucking funny.
God, I would have been so fucking angry.
Can I say here?
Italy
also
officially switched sides in October of 1943. So
there you go.
Also,
just the tail end.
Also, the
for me, that's for Italy.
The Apple one that I rented was the restoration, 4K restoration. So it looked
Wow.
great.
God, I bet it was. Oh, I bet it looked great. I bet it sounded great. I've bitched about this before, but Canopy, it's free. It's great. It's a wonderful service. I'm glad it's there.
Well, it's free if you have a library card. It's free if you support your local library. Yeah.
It just sounds like it's transferring at like 96 kilobytes per second or something. It just sounds so thin and empty.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, they don't get a lot of money for their bandwidth.
Oh, they get nothing for it. I know.
Cool.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Dave, I would love for you to become a movie projectionist and run a movie theater and become Alfredo to some young boy and really thicken up that Australian accent and
you
make
guys
him uncomfortable.
I mean, I just walk around shirtless and it's fine.
I do projection at the town hall.
That's awesome.
Oh.
I am one of the projectionists at the town hall.
It is really sweet when he says,
but there's no children.
Comes too late, right? There's no children. Yeah, and children have to stay 500 feet away from Dave. I'm kidding.
300 feet. Those fuckers are fast.
No, but when they light the that was so great when he like
I end
admits
up on
to
a
his
fucking
mom.
watch list, Cozzy. I'm coming over.
So so those scenes were so sweet with the mom, even though she was so mad, but so sad and so depressed. And then later on, she's like, I had a hard time. Go ahead, listen to this fucking guy. If he says don't come back, maybe you shouldn't come back. Anyway. All right. We should move it on.
Very good. Cinema Paradiso, 1989. Very good.
You guys,
have you guys seen any of his other movies? Right, last question.
I don't think so.
I looked up what they were, and I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, what about you?
Never mind. Yeah,
the best offer, The Legend of 1900, Milena.
I've seen Milena. I've seen Legend of 1900.
He's still alive.
Yes, he is.
Jesus.
I mean, obviously, it was 1989.
And he
it wasn't
made,
like 1920.
did you watch I've also seen the Ennio, that wonderful documentary on Ennio Morricone.
That popped up on my
21
list the other night.
Definitely worth watching.
Is that why you made that joke?
Everyone knows a lot of his music.
Is that why you made that joke before?
What joke? Where I said, put on, when you were bitching about stock options.
Yeah.
Capital gains. I said, cut the Ennio over that shit. Oh, that'd be so good.
Well, they put some Westerns on there. I wonder if you got some of Ennio's music in there.
Dude, I'll tell you one.
There was one movie that looked so good. I thought it was La Strada, but maybe not. The one movie looked so good. And I looked up. It was like Tamino. I forget what and I was like, what is this movie? And I was Googling it. And everybody Googles it. And only Cinema Paradiso was coming up. The person,
you're saying there was one of the old movies.
Yeah, it wasn't La Strada, though. I know La Strada was in there, but it wasn't La Strada. And the character's name was Tamino.
There were a lot of great ones, man.
Anyway. And
that Italian clown guy, I can never remember that guy's name. The one with the eyes, you kept doing like the close-ups.
Oh,
yeah. That guy's famous. He's a very famous Italian comedic
I saw the Chaplin
actor.
boxing when I saw in a bar recently, and everybody was laughing. It was hilarious. Dave, you're about to say, oh, this guy makes a lot of money doing Dolce & Gabbana commercials, too. But, that's cool.
Good
Dave, what were you going to say?
Oh, just when they were waiting on the second half of the film, and they're like, just have patience. And then this guy's like, I've already seen it. I'll tell you how it ends. And then immediately gets hit in the head with a shoe.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, fucking take the hint, reaction bloggers.
I still feel torn, you guys. Do you guys, sorry, last big question I'll ask you. I love watching movies at home. I take it very, very seriously. Yeah. I'm a really dedicated audience member, and I get frustrated in movie theaters quite often if people are making noise and not being serious moviegoers.
Yeah.
But this movie and anything that has anything to do with this kind of conversation does make me realize like the lack of eventizing these experiences and the ease with which we can just queue them up. Anything you want to watch in the world that's ever been made, you can watch it whenever you want. So nothing is special. You're not really forced to remember anything. You don't feel like discussing it. Like, thank God we have this podcast. Most of the times you don't really talk about stuff that you're watching with people because you don't need to remember. You don't need to recall it because you could just watch it again. And I do think, I don't know, something might be lost for that. I love listening to Scorsese like talk about how he only saw things once and he would like go home and try to like remember what they were. They would drive like hours to go see this film that's only showing in like that town way over there. And there's something
it was something you never saw before.
I have friends that used to.
And you might never see again.
Yeah.
You
I
might
have friends that
literally
would
never see it again.
like Seinfeld once and then remember all of the quotes. Like if there was a funny scene,
yes,
they would remember it
that's a
line by
good
line.
comparison.
And because I do this all the time on the show where I'm like, oh, he says like, oh, meh. And I had friends that literally would quote it word for word. And they'd be like, these 3 lines, like memorize. It's going to come up again. Like memorize, come up. It'll come again. I know exactly what you're talking about. John, is Malena, which is a movie by this guy in 2000, is that basically like the Italian I tu mamma tambien, which came out before I tu mamma tambien? It's about a boy in Sicily who's obsessed with an older
kids are
woman,
younger.
but the kids are younger and they don't go on a trip, but it's like,
not.
as far
It's
as
not. It's a different animal. Very different animal. But that's a good movie. It's worth watching.
but young boys obsessed with an older woman and there's nudity. It seems pretty similar.
It is. Yeah. It's closer to Milk Money
Oh,
than it is to that. A little bit like they have infatuation with this, the most beautiful woman in the village. All the women in that village like hate her and think that she's taking their husbands and stuff
'cause they're
because she's
jealous?
so beautiful. And yeah, there's a really brutal scene in there with the townswomen and her that is worth watching. It's fucked up. Anyway,
all right. We
good
should
stuff.
spin the wheel. John,
Yeah,
what
let's
year do you
it. What are
think?
we doing next week?
Wait, Dave still has his check, but we are cleared.
I'm going to go over 2000. I'm going to go to 2005.
I'm going to go 1961.
That's funny. I was going to do 62. Hit it.
Let's roll.
Oh, we froze on 2020 for too long there. 2014. So John was
Ooh.
right in theory. He had the right idea. 2014. Well, we're not going to sit here and Google movies. We are going to do what you've been watching. At the end of this segment, we're going to be telling you what we're doing next week. So stick around for just a couple more minutes, film fans. Dave, we'd like to start with you. Watching anything this week?
I've been rewatching some stuff. I'm in the middle of an Expanse rewatch because I realized I've never seen it right to the end. Still good sci-fi. I'm rewatching Warehouse 13 from the start. It's stupid, it's silly, it's written for TV, but it's just good fun. And I just needed something light.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. It's a show.
Warehouse 13, yeah, it's a show. They manage a government warehouse that has like artifacts from history, but they have supernatural powers, and they keep escaping from the warehouse.
I'm going to admit it. The alcohol has hit me in such a way that I could not spell warehouse. I was 0 for 3, and then I finally got autocorrected.
Warehouse.
Warehouse.
I'm writing them down so I can put them in the show notes correctly because I usually forget.
Jeff's advice and watched Pretty Lethal.
He's drinking. Oh,
Nice.
come on! I told you.
Yeah.
I told you it wasn't great. Like I told you what it was.
Seriously, I've recommended it to at least 2 people because
why did you take a huge swig after you said that?
You buzzed me. It was silly as hell, but they committed to the bit.
Yeah.
And as long as you commit to the bit, it works because you're sharing the joke.
Wasn't that first kill really fun? Like it was so surprising, that first one. And then all of a sudden she was like, well, that's too bad. That's too bad that happened. Now everybody has to die. It's like, yes, I love these kind of movies.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
The fight was great.
And the lighting was cool. I thought there was a lot of purple.
Yes.
There was a lot of really cool lighting.
There was. Also, I finished up Paradiso season 2. We got to the big
Paradiso?
finale.
I'm kidding.
They took some fucking big swings on this show. It might be one of the best event TV things out at the moment.
Okay, is season 2 just so much better than season 1? Because I like season 1 just fine, but people are talking about season 2 as if it's one of the best shows they've ever seen. And I'm watching season 1. I'm like, I'll get there.
Season 1 happens in the town. Season 2 happens outside the town and in the town.
I can't fucking wait for season 2, but I'm gonna get through it. But you told me I should.
But season 3, they've pulled some big fucking swings for the end of season 2. I can tell you that.
Damn.
And I'm excited for what comes next.
Sterling K. Brown.
Nice.
In World War II.
That's right. I'm in a love triangle. In World War II.
John, what you been watching?
I mentioned that I watched that Betty Davis film Deception last week. God, it's fantastic.
I don't remember a single thing about last week, so go ahead.
You guys should watch Deception.
You're not going to remember this week
I started the HBO series Born to Bowl.
What was that one?
Awesome. You haven't seen any trailers for it? Born to Bowl.
Nope.
You know
About
how
bowling?
Netflix and Apple are making like their hardcore sports,
Yeah.
like this is this sport, and they're taking it real seriously and they're making it awesome. A24 is doing it with bowling with a tongue in their cheek, but a sincerity because the guys are so it's real. They're following around these top bowlers, but it's like a real kind of a joke league in some ways, the way they are treated by the league and by sports culture in general. But they take themselves, seriously. It is endearing. It is funny.
What is it on?
I'm enjoying it. It's called Born to Bowl. It's on HBO Max. They're only a couple episodes in.
Do you listen
please watch this.
Do you have The Man in Me by Bob Dylan playing, which is what's playing during the first bowling montage in one of your favorite movies, The Big Lebowski? Do you have that? Do you have that playing in your head when you're watching this series, or what?
I always think of Al Hoberman when that
Because
song
he sang
comes
that.
on.
Yes, in the movies. Whatever. The songs in the movies.
Really, it's worth watching. I've enjoyed it. We watched the last season of that just came out of L'Agence, the Parisian agency. It's a good.
I don't know how to spell that. I'll look it up later.
Yeah, sure. I watched for the other shows, The Pit. I'm caught up on those.
Pit.
I watched 3 other films that are worth mentioning. Another Betty Davis film called Now Voyager. Holy shit, it was so good. Watch it immediately. I watched on Netflix Blackberry.
Oh wait, did I see that?
Right?
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that.
That movie made like less than $2 million when it went to theaters, and it's like the kind of movie that I'm sure I am not like one of the only people that press play on that on Netflix. I bet it's getting a lot of watches, and I want to know how many people are watching them. Like, I would love to know that movie was more successful than maybe you think it. I thought it was on Netflix, but maybe I'm wrong.
You may be right.
It was fun. If you want to see like those history stories, it's, how it happened and these crazy characters. And, I also saw 2 wonderful films that I have never seen before. One, I was in the mood for some Paul Giamatti, so I went back to American Splendor, where he plays the curmudgeon.
That was in my film adaptation class.
Harvey Picar. It was so, it's a small indie Sundance kind of film. It won Sundance that year. So it's not going to, blow your hair back. It's just characters in a room kind of being characters.
Giamatti? That's so curious.
Sometimes I don't know, he just makes me feel good, man. I just wanted to watch a
awesome.
simple movie where he's acting a lot and playing a funny character. Not a lot. He actually has a problem with his throat, so we can't yell too much.
Right.
It's good. It's very charming.
The guy who wrote the comics, right? It's like loosely based off of.
I don't want to give too much away, but this movie is so unusual because of how they use mixed media. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And how they use the real people and Paul in them, portraying them. It's really interesting how they did it, which is why I think it did so well. It's not just the story that is interesting about it. And then finally, contemporary film came out last year, starring Keke Palmer and SZA. I saw One of Them Days, which is I think it's on HBO Max. That movie's good. It felt like a contemporary kind of Friday vibe. I feel like there's a sequel that could easily come out of this movie. We laughed. We had fun. I don't feel like I've seen a movie like that in a while, like an R-rated comedy that has such a teeny tiny single day kind of story, like very much like Friday. I mean, I don't think they were trying to reinvent the wheel here, but it works. And I think people should watch it. I didn't get to see it in the movie theater when it was out last year or 2 years ago. And I wish I would have seen it because I bet a lot of people were laughing their butts off in the movie theater, but we laughed at home on the couch. So it's definitely worth watching.
Okay. So I'll be quick. Paradise, working on it. Pit, love it. I'll come back to Smashing Machine. So I already talked about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which is from 1989. So I finished our podcast, so maybe I was a little too drunk for this. I went upstairs and I started this 1989. I've seen the end 20 times because of all the things I said before. And I just felt like the first 10 minutes are just so not for me. The snake gag.
It's Lawrence of Arabia for
4-year-olds. The music was so over the top. It was just so not for me. It was silly. It was just, I just couldn't do it. Steve's better than that. Steve is better than that, I think. At least the beginning. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So I watched instead the Red Hot Chili Peppers documentary, which I thought was great.
Did you like it?
Yes, I did like it. There's only one thing about it, though. As soon as they got the new guitars, because the whole thing is about the guy who dies. As soon as I got the new guitars and he made us more musically complex, I was like, I like his songs. So for the last 10 minutes, I was like, I love those songs. So it was cool to see. I really liked it. But I was sort of torn by the end because I like the new guy and I like their music better after it wasn't just yelling and screaming.
Sure.
It's basically like
The
Inside
mixed
Out.
media is really cool in that too, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the
that was good.
animation
Yeah,
and stuff is really
Okay.
effective.
So then the next day I tried to watch, oh my God, what the fuck is that movie? The Pizza Movie, which is like,
Oh yeah.
it's supposed to just be a stoner comedy. And it's just, what is wrong with these writers? Like, what do they write things and think it's so fucking funny? And then as soon as you do it, like,
What's the pizza movie?
I feel like you should do this.
It's new on Netflix, I think. I know Netflix.
Okay.
I think it's Hulu. So if you write a scene, I want you to think, what would a terrible sketch show do with the scene? Because if it's awful, don't fucking do it. It's not good enough yet. I feel like even these are pretty talented people, and the gags and they're awkward, and it's like it's so not real. I can't imagine anybody making it through this movie, and I made it not even 10 minutes, and it's such a good idea. It's just a stoner. They take a random drug that was sitting around for 20 years, and so they're basically tripping balls the whole movie, and all they ordering a pizza will make it all go away. So it's basically like people who were stoned that were like wanted pizza and they're like, let's make a movie about this. It's such a good idea. Fuck, man. So I instead watched
White Castle.
So I instead watched, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's that simple. A million of them. And so instead I watched I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not, which was also pretty fun. That's fun. Hour and a half. All these movies, they're all an hour and a half. Every documentary now is an hour and a half. And then I can't remember what the other one was. And I watched another documentary instead. No, I don't fucking know. I gave up. Okay, so Smashing Machine. Smashing Machine, guys. I know this sounds hoity-toity or pretentious. I don't know anything, so I'm not pretending like I know anything, but there is a good movie in there. It is in there. I swear on my life, there was a good movie in there. There's something about the pacing. I
think this is as good as we're gonna get.
Okay. Well,
Didn't he win Best Director at the Venice Film Festival?
Venice? I doubt it, but I mean, they got great standing ovations. Look, it's just there's something about the pacing, and every movie needs genre. And when you're going through time, it's hard to interstitch the drama.
He won Best Director. He won the Silver Lion at the Venice Film Festival.
Again, there's a good movie in there. I think the problem is the pacing, and the problem is you need to stir up drama. So it becomes a lot about his drug addiction. In this time period, he gets addicted to painkillers because he's obviously a MMA fighter. So he gets addicted to painkillers, duh. But like the character is likable. The Rock is likable. Emily Blunt is likable. Even their arguments are really enjoyable and likable. There's just something about it that's not as entertaining as it should be. And so it's hard to like sit through, but I swear there's a good movie in there. I swear. So I hope you watch it and feel more inspired about it. But I was like,
do you think
an hour just went by and it was muddled.
Do you think it's the pace? Do you think they could have cut more aggressively?
It's either the
a
pace or
pace?
just the dramatic ups and downs. Like, it was basically like the drug addiction was the arc. The more addicted he was, the more dramatic it was, and therefore it raised the stakes, which raised towards the climax and stuff. It's like, I don't know. It just felt.
That makes sense. That seems like a reasonable trajectory when you say it that way.
Yeah. It just felt a little blasé. Even though they did it so well. Emily Blunt talking to the trainer. Did you know he was on painkillers? I didn't know. I wish somebody told me. Like, it was all makes sense. It's just not as entertaining as it should be. Okay, that's it. Dave, we're going to play some Dasein, and we're going to talk about what movie from 2014 we're doing in 10 seconds. 10 seconds, people. Listen to some Dasein. Here we go.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're back.
What just started playing? Oh my God, the trailer started playing. Let's see if that flags us. Guys, we just gave away the movie we're doing next week. We've been to 2014 before, but we decided we're going to go back and revisit Birdman. I'm not reading the whole title. Birdman is enough, right? Birdman. Are you guys excited about this? Dave owns this.
So
and Dave, how many times have you seen this movie?
3/4.
Guys, we're doing Birdman next week. And right now, if you're watching this in advance, you can buy it on Amazon, which I don't know, does that count as buying it? I don't know. You can supposedly buy it as long as Amazon exists.
You can license it.
You can permanently rent it.
Permanently license it until they decide you can't. For only $5. So just buy it for $5 and then you can watch 3/4 of it like Dave. No, I'm kidding. We're going to talk about the whole thing next week. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
Fucking great stuff. See you next week.
See See you next week, film fans.